welcome back to Teens Talk. School life can feel like a roller coaster. There are deadlines, exams, pressure to succeed, and sometimes it just feels so overwhelming. But how can we make studying feel less stressful? How do we stay motivated when we just don't feel like opening a textbook? And most importantly, how do we balance school with everything else in life? Today, we have a very special guest with us, Caleb, who's here to share his journey through school, study habits, challenges, and what they have learned along the way. Whether you're someone who thrives in academics or someone who's just trying to get through the next assignment, this episode is for you. Let's get into it. So, hey Caleb, how are you doing?
I'm good, thanks, Reem. And you?
I'm good, thank you. Welcome to Teens Talk.
Thank you so much. I actually heard a lot about this podcast. I'm actually happy to be here.
How do you find our podcast?
Well, it's really useful, actually. I heard a lot of things that I can resonate with. I heard a lot of things that I can relate to. So, yeah, it's actually, keep it on. Good job.
Thank you so much. So, to start off, can you tell us a little bit about yourself and what school life looks like for you?
So, that's a good question, actually. I learn in a private school in Mozambique, and I'm actually not Mozambican, I'm from Ethiopia. And I believe it's just me and my sister in this country. And I have lived for 14 years in Ethiopia, never went anywhere else, except for travels and all. And then I shifted to living in Mozambique after I was 14, and now I'm here, 3 years in Mozambique.
How old are you now?
Now I'm 17.
Oh,
yeah.
So who's Caleb?
Well, Caleb is well, let's start with who he used to be. Caleb used to be a kid who was ambitious about a lot of stuff. He likes watching movies. He likes playing games.
Yeah.
And he does. He likes studies as well because well, he also likes to get a lot of awards. He collects stuff. He's a collector and he's a dedicated person.
So I asked before what school looks like for you, so I think we went in different questions, but just if you can tell me.
So school life is, you mean school life, right?
Yeah.
So school life is actually very fun because you're living with people who are actually close to you. I mean, yes, we have our parents who are actually closer to us more than the students, but then again, like when it's a group of people who you kind of have the same age, it's easier to open up, it's easier to discuss things that you usually won't be able to open up with other people. So yeah, school is like a very warm place, and it's also a place where we get education, and when you think about it, we spend more time in school than we spend time home. So it's actually like a second home to students. So
did school help you while you were a teenager? I think you're still a teenager, but when you're, because we know starting from 13, this is where actually teenage life starts. So did school help you with being a teenager?
Yeah, I mean, school helped me realize what's right and wrong. It served as my moral compass, right? Because as I said, while I'm spending most of my time in school, it made me realize that there's actually more of a family than just your immediate families. As important as your first families are, the second family that I have, which is my school, my friends, it taught me a lot of stuff. And also academic-wise, school is the only place that I get academic knowledge from. So
So have you always been good at studying, or was it something that you needed to figure it out during time?
Okay, actually, the way I realized that I wasn't good at studying is, well, the main indication was my grades, right? When I was, say, for example, grade 4, I had a very hard time telling the difference between a command and a statement and a question. That's like easy stuff like that used to trouble me a lot. And the method I used to study is it's all about the method you use to study. And my method of study was not that great, and my grades were also not that great. But then starting from grade 7 or 8, I would say, then I started understanding myself, how I function. And then I started to actually study better and get good marks. So it was never a good study method. It was never a high grade. It was never all glory and all. I started from 0, and it had an exponential climb when I hit grade 7, I believe.
So what's your method of studying? Because you mentioned that your method changed over time, right?
Yeah.
So what's yours?
So I realized, so because when I was, say, for example, grade four,
Yeah.
let's take that as a reference point. When I was in grade four, I used to believe that straight studies was helpful, like
Yeah.
continuous studies.
Yeah.
And I used to
Memorizing or
feel,
something, yeah.
yes, I used to
Okay.
feel guilty when I was taking a rest from studying. When I was,
Yeah.
say, for example, I have an exam tomorrow, right?
Yeah.
And I'm studying a lot. And when I, say, for example, I'm tired, I just like it felt guilty for me to stop and go and play. And then I started realizing that it's actually helpful because it helps your mind reset. It helps to like
Maybe take your energy back.
Exactly, it resets your energy, I would say.
Yeah.
So yeah, and that's right now I use like I don't know if you have heard of the technique. There's something called the Pomodoro technique. It's,
Yeah.
yeah, it's a 25-minute study, 5-minute break, 25-minute study, 5-minute break.
Do you
And-
always follow that?
Well, not really, not always,
Yeah.
but because I'm studying and if I believe that I still have fuel in me,
Yeah.
I go further. For example,
Yeah,
instead of
yeah.
25-minute study, I do 1 hour study and
Yeah,
10-minute break. The 1 hour study and 10-minute break. I just walk around with my friends or like talk to my parents, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
So yeah, that's my study technique.
So I know maybe this might be a silly question, but I think it's important to hear. So what do you do in those 5 minutes? Like, I mean, it's
Yeah.
like after you're studying maybe for 1 hour or like 25 minutes, what do
Yeah.
you do to get your energy back? Because I'm pretty sure many of us don't know what should they do in those
Yeah.
times. Like they just feel so tired and like, should I go and scroll on my phone and Instagram or social media, or should I go and just hang out with my friends? Like, what should I do exactly?
So, but
Yeah.
like, I believe that that's personal because for me, it's just I believe it's doing something that kind of refreshes you, you know, like
Yeah,
resets
yeah.
your energy. For example, for me, it's usually walking around. I go to refill my bottle because when I study, I drink a
Yeah.
lot.
Yeah.
And I refill my bottle. I maybe talk to my parents. And if you catch that, I also said that I like playing video games, so I
Yeah.
usually play video games as well. Yeah, so but basically it's like doing something that you like, you know. I'm not saying that you shouldn't like studying, but something else like a leisure activity. Say for example, yeah, even scrolling through Instagram. If it works for you, then yes, go for it. Yeah.
Yeah. Why do you like studying?
Because that's a good
Because-
question. Since I was grade four, I used to, I used to watch movies. I used to watch machines working. I used to like be amazed by how a plane flies on the air with all those people in it. I used to wonder how cars function, and then I researched who makes those things, and I actually like got an answer. Those are mechanical engineers that produce them. So since I was grade four, I used to tell my parents, my friends, everyone, I used to tell myself, more importantly, that I'm going to become a mechanical engineer. And it grew up in me. So whenever I study, I have one aim in mind. That's becoming a mechanical engineer. And yeah, so why I study is because I want to hit my target, which is becoming a good mechanical engineer.
So, a lot of students struggle with procrastination. So, have you ever dealt with it, and what helps you stay on track?
Yeah, so it's kind of links back to the previous question you asked me. Procrastination, well, it's natural, right? It's not just students, it's literally everyone. Well, I don't want to say literally everyone, but there are a lot of people that suffer from procrastination, and that's because it's the natural tendency of the human mind to kind of do what it enjoys. And if you're not enjoying the study, then you are deemed to procrastinate. You're going to say, okay, maybe I can do this after 10 minutes. Maybe I can do this after 20 minutes. And those 20 minutes are going to go to 1 hour. Those 1 hour are going to go to maybe a
Hours,
day.
yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, yeah, you need to have an aim in mind. That's
Why are you studying?
Yeah, so you need to make the studying enjoyable. Then you don't even want to procrastinate, right? Like procrastination is you doing something you like
Yeah.
instead of like say for example studying if you don't like studying. So find a way to make studying fun again, or
How do you make it fun?
Well, as I said, I have
Yeah.
an aim in mind, right?
Yeah.
So whenever my brain wants to procrastinate, I remember that aim of mine, which is becoming that mechanical engineer I speak of.
Yeah.
So I kind of, I study the things I like. For example, mathematics, I like mathematics. Physics, I like physics. So, I used to struggle with procrastination, and then I just remind myself of that aim I have,
The grade
and then
4
I'll
boy.
spring back into my studying board and boom,
Yeah.
goes nicely.
So when you don't have energy and you just feel like you know you have an aim, but you just feel like your body is not helping you to actually go and study, what do you do?
So then we spring back to one of your previous questions, which is taking a rest.
Yeah.
Right. So if you know that you can do something, but you just don't have the energy, you take, say, for example, a 10-minute break or a five. If you feel that's not enough, take 30. Just make sure that your mind is resetted to its original momentum. So, like, you keep on pushing, right? So, yeah, I mean, taking breaks is extremely important in these scenarios where you don't have energy to work.
If someone comes and tell you that, okay, you said already that if you want to study, you need to remember your aim. What if I don't have an aim? What if I don't have a goal to do? Like, for example, I love studying. I want to be something important in the future, but I don't know what's that something. I don't know which job I should do, or like which career I should go and study. So, what do you say to those people?
Good. So there are a lot of people who actually struggle with
Yeah.
defining what they're going to be when they grow up. When, for example, when I go and ask them, "Hey, what do you want to be in the future?" They're like, "Oh, I haven't decided yet."
I don't
And
know.
that's actually very normal and
Yeah.
very it's fine because not everyone knows what they want to be from a young age, right? There are people who go to universities not knowing what they're going to be in the future. So for those people, they will have to find another way to make their studying fun. They have to like resonate with the thing they're doing. Say, for example, if you're well, see, they don't have a career. You said because they're not ready for it, which is normal. So they just have to find a way, another way. Well, I can't state it because I'm not sure of it.
Yeah.
But it's just about making studying fun again.
So, balancing school with personal life can be very hard, like hobbies, social life, and even spending time with friends. Maybe you mentioned you can take it during the times of break, but like if you want to talk about balancing in general, so how do you manage it all together?
So, again, life is all about time management, right?
Yeah.
You have 24 hours in one day. And if you allocate your time effectively, then there is time for everything. You can study, which is important for your future success. But then again, you have friends around you, right? You have
Yeah.
the second family that I spoke of. So it's all about time management. If you know, if, for example, in the morning you wake up and you list all the things that you have to do in, say, for example, a piece of paper or a board, and then you make sure you strike that off, and then it's like you can think of it as a reward for yourself, and then maybe you can speak to your friends or play sports with them, and yeah, it all lies in your own time management skills, which I believe is a very essential skill, not just for schooling purposes, but also well, the leisure activities you do with your friends, because some students are like, okay, from 2 to 3 we study, and then from 3 to 4 we play basketball, and then they say, for example, miss the time, and then they end up playing till 5 or 6, which is failure to manage your time. So I believe it all lies under time management.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So
Yeah.
you mentioned about awarding yourself, right? Do you award yourself after maybe, I don't know, after you get a grade that you wanted, or maybe something after you finished several tasks that you had or something?
Yeah, I do award myself, which mostly is sleep.
Yeah.
But there are also other ways that I award myself. For example, going on a walk, right?
Yeah,
And usually my parents are very supportive in walking because they really think that exercising is good for your health, which is also correct and proven by science.
Yeah.
So my award is maybe taking a walk with them, go out, get a cup of ice cream, and come back. So yeah, that's more than the award I need. So
Yeah.
that's perfect.
What role did your parents play in your study?
Wow, mostly it's their role.
Yeah.
Like if I were to put it in percentage, 40% would be mine, 60%
Yeah.
of it would be them, because to me, my parents are my heroes.
Yeah.
Yeah, my mom is like my doctor, my
Yeah.
friend, she's everything.
Yeah,
And whenever I feel exhausted, in fact, she's the one who notices, not me, because well, again, it's in my mind. Whenever, for example, I couldn't solve a math question, I'll be sitting there, I'll be angry at myself. I'll be like, oh no, why can I not do this? And
Yeah,
something like that. And my mom is actually the one who knows. She'll be like, she'll come into my room. She'll be like, Maybe, okay, you need a break, right? We
Yeah.
go on a walk and then we get ice cream and we come back. When I come and sit down, I realize the silly mistakes that I've been doing, which helps, well, revive my mind, right? And so it plays a very important role. And my dad, well, my dad is, why I say my dad is my hero is because he used to work in Afghanistan during the time of war,
Oh.
and he had to carry um, a bulletproof cap that's the size of a bulldog, and just all that to provide for my studies.
Yeah,
So he contributed to my studies. He plays an important role because without him, I wouldn't be in Arakan. I don't even know where I would be. So yeah, if I were to put it in percentage as well,
Yeah.
it would be 60% of it would be my parents' roles and 40% of it would be my hard work. And
So
time
your
management.
parents had that big role of motivation, right?
Sorry?
Like the motivation and stuff. So your parents had a big role in that.
Of course,
Yeah.
100%.
So if you didn't have an aim and being a mechanical engineer, maybe your
Yeah,
parents would have.
would be my motivation
Yeah.
because I see it every day, every night. They're struggling for me, and there's no way my mind would allow myself to let them down.
Yeah.
So that's also a motivation that keeps me going every day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So do you think the way we are taught in school works for everyone, or should education be more flexible?
Well, education as of now for myself is not very great.
Yeah.
Well, because say for example, as I said, want to become a mechanical engineer and I want to learn physics and math.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I'm learning subjects that are not really helpful for my future career. We have a student who wants to become a football player, but still is forced to learn physics, which
Yeah.
is not going to help him in his future careers. It's like putting an elephant, a monkey, and a fish, and telling them to climb the same tree,
Yeah.
and whoever gets atop wins. And that's, like, for myself, personally speaking, is something that I would love to change. And if students are ready enough and they know what they're going to do in the future, I believe they should choose their own subject in a sense that they shouldn't be forced.
Limited.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they shouldn't be forced to take some subjects that are unnecessary for
For them, yeah,
exactly.
yeah.
And so yeah, the way education is being fed to students in the 21st century is, well, I do not like it at all, at all. Yeah.
So you mentioned about the education in the 21st century, right? And how not good it is, right? So what do you think maybe in the coming years the role of AI will be, and like the AI intervention in the education? Because we can see now that, for example, we are using laptops to study, right?
Yeah.
And you can now get all of what you want through the internet.
That's true.
But for example, what if we have like AI teachers or something like that? What do you think about it?
Well, that's a good point you mentioned. But before that, I also like to underline the fact that all I'm saying is personal.
Yeah.
And there could be some people who like the way education is given in the 21st century. But for me, I really think that it's not appropriate. Well, not appropriate in the sense that it is not helping students, but
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
overdriving them.
Yeah,
You know, yeah.
Maybe it
So-
should be something like to where they want to be in the
Exactly,
future, right?
Exactly. That's my point.
Yeah.
And for your question about technological integrations for education, I believe that you study yourself. We're using laptops. We have literally
Yeah.
everything we want to help us advance in our journey to success.
yeah.
But then again, there's always the overuse of AI, right? There are students who cheat using AI in exams. Say, for example, an essay that should be done, and they use AIs. And the more advancements there is, yes, of course, we're going to have improvements in the way we're learning, but then there's always that portion of the population that misuses the AI. And then we come up with some techniques, for example, Turnitin index, softwares that can detect the use of AI. And then people keep on coming up with softwares that kind of creates an imbalance in the AI usage. And you also mentioned an AI teacher. I believe that could happen. Yes, there is a possibility, but it won't be as great as having a physical teacher. That's because AI is a robot, right? It doesn't have
Yeah,
emotions. But your teachers, our teachers, do have emotions. They're human beings. They passed through the same process we did, right?
Yeah.
So they would understand our stress, but AI wouldn't, because everything is just a software. It's
Yeah.
a combination of zeros and ones that's just going to give you an answer to your question. So I think our teachers, human being teachers, are really effective in teaching us because they understand our emotions, they understand our stress, they understand everything as compared to AI teachers.
So if we reach to that point of having AI teachers, do you think we will stop and then pause for a little bit and say that no, we need again physical teachers and like...
That's true.
I mean all of the humans,
Yeah.
not only me and you, but like everyone.
Yeah, I get it. And
Yeah.
I really believe that that's going to be the case if
Yeah.
in the future we end up having an AI teacher. Students will realize the essence of the teachers we have now.
Yeah,
Students
yeah.
will realize how important it is to interact with actual human beings to understand
Because
the
we are
specific
social.
theories. Exactly.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
why we say humans are social animals.
Exactly, yeah. So you mentioned something about the change that you would do in school, but I want you to talk about it more. So if you can change something in the school and the way that in schooling, education, whatever, what would you change?
So when I say this, I know it's not as easy as it sounds. It's
Yeah.
easier said than done.
Yeah.
But if it were really up to me to choose how students pursue their educational journey, I would really make sure they get the education they need. I'm not saying education is useless. Every education is very important, but it depends on who has that education.
Exactly.
If you want to be a football player and you have a deep understanding of how physics works or how chemicals bond, chemicals form reactions with each other, well, I truly believe that's a misallocation. Well, it's good for one being to know how things work,
Yeah.
but then again, there's that want in you. It's not just that need.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I believe that true education is obtained when you combine your wants and needs.
Yeah.
What we're doing now is we're neglecting the wants, we're just concentrating on the needs, as education is a need to everyone. So if it were to me to change to change the dynamics of education, I would really make sure students go down with that path that they think that is correct for them and that thing that they want to do in the future without anyone's influence.
Okay. So what's one piece of advice you would give to students who feel overwhelmed or unmotivated for studying?
Good. So manage your time. First of all, manage your time.
Yeah.
Don't feel guilty for taking breaks. If you can't read something, for example, say for example a paragraph, you can't read a paragraph, that's when you know that you need a break. It's sitting down doing the same thing all over again and expecting different results is really not going to cut it out. You're going to end up in the same ditch at this every time. So don't feel guilty to take breaks. They are essential. They're an essential part of studies. And another advice would be become social. Like friends are really important. For example, like 12th grade is mostly the time of high school. I know there's college, so mostly the time of high school where students are very, very much in a deep stress and they're in a lot of tension. And for me, for example, it's talking with someone that relieves that stress. And have friends, talk with them, talk with your parents, tell them what you feel like, express your emotions, become social, become a social animal. So yeah, that's a good advice that I would say that I would give to someone who's struggling with academics.
Thank you so much, Caleb. That was such a great conversation. I think so many of us can relate to the struggles of studying, motivation, and school stress. But what really stood out today is that success in school isn't about grades. It's about finding out what works for you, right?
Yeah.
Learning from challenges and making time for yourself too.
Exactly.
You mentioned a lot about self-care.
Exactly.
So if there is one thing to take away from today's episode is that school isn't about being perfect, it's about progress. Whether it's building better study habits, learning to manage time, or just getting through one tough day at a time, every step counts. If this episode helped you, share it with a friend who might need some motivation too. And if you have your own study hacks or school experiences to share, reach out. I would love to hear from you. Thanks for tuning in to Teen Talk. Keep learning, keep growing, and remember, your journey in school is yours. So make it work for you. See you next time.